every nation on planet Earth possibly has a story to tell about their role, their sustainability, their power, and of course, their people during the Second World War. Hello everyone, I am Amazing Grace and welcome to this special story in our Russia docu-series, and this is about World War II. According to reports, the Russian Federation has 22 republics, 46 oblasts, 1 autonomous region, 4 autonomous districts, and 3 cities of federal significance, which is Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Sevastopol. Now, each region of the Federation had a contribution and a part to play during the war, aligning in perfect consonance with the Russian Federation. This account is taken from Bolshiy Berezniki in the Republic of Mordovia, where the monument Surskiy or call it Surskiy Memorial, was set up. According to historians, from December 1941 to January 15, 1942, which is 45 days precisely, the people of Mordovia at this very location dug the ground with their bare hands, some with their farm implements, just to ensure their safety and that the Nazis do not enter. During the December 1941 to January 1942 period on the eastern front of the war, the weather in Russia was at minus 40 degrees Celsius, and this was followed by snow and freezing conditions. Now, the severe cold crippled the German military efforts, impacting a lot on their tank engines. With this sort of weather that had killed a lot of soldiers, these patriots were so dedicated to this job of digging the snow with their bare hands. Now, it didn't matter if some of them were pregnant, old, frail, sick, hungry, tired, yet men and women in the severe cold worked morning and night. They were cold but not tired. They were hungry but never discouraged. All they wanted to do was keep their land safe, especially for their children unborn, a place where we can all travel miles and miles to still see the spot where it all happened. They started digging from Illinois in Penza region up across several regions in Russia. We have come here to sort of look around at the Surskiy Memorial, which was built or rebuilt some years ago, just in honor of the fallen heroes, the men and the women of this village who did a lot with their hands. It was recorded, according to reports, that from December 1941 to about January 15, 1942, which was 45 days, the men and the women of this village had to dig the ground with their bare hands, using simple farm implements, sometimes if you call it shovels, and but basically using their hand. And so they did all of that just to make sure that their territory was protected and to make sure that the Nazis do not get to come close to this place. But fortunately, after all of that effort, the Nazis didn't actually come into this territory, but all thanks to the men and the women of this community. And that's why the Russian Federation thought it wise to build this epitome of memorial in their honor. So we're here today. We'll take a tour around it. We're here, it's about 2 kilometers down the road that they had to build a lot with their hands. And of course, on this tour, you'll learn a lot with us. Do come. Arriving at Surskiy Memorial, the site of this monumental history, Galina Alexandrovna Kusheva, director of the Scientific Research Institute of Humanities, Republic of Mordovia, took us around the historic monument, sharing the stories of these heroes. There are names on the board, names of Russians who participated in the war from different regions. This is their own way of ensuring not to forget the labor of their heroes past.
When you look at the photos, you could see how women, men, and maybe sometimes children were involved in making sure that their city, their territory was protected. I looked at this picture and I really felt some empathy, and this shows a lot. It goes a lot to talk about patriotism and the love for one's motherland.
Yeah. And
1941.
41, yes.
И сколько километров он
And
проходил.
how many kilometers?
Всё, на память.
Just like the wood crafted, the art crafted from the very woods in Surskiy Memorial reads, and I read, they are never to be forgotten. We stopped over at the prominent open-air museum of the Surskiy frontier to hear an account, a real story about World War II survivors from Kosinski Sergei Alexandrovich, who's the grandson of one of the World War II survivors and currently the head of the military historical club at Surskiy Rubez. And he spoke to us about his childhood and how his grandmother, his babushka, was pregnant but was still working with her hands to ensure that the work goes on without stopping.
И берет на себя ответственность, отпускает мою бабушку домой.
And he lets her go, and he works for her instead of her.
Бабушка прошла 18 километров до деревни, вот отсюда, Николаевки, до Паракина. Куда вы поедете?
So his grandmother walked, she was pregnant, 18 kilometers walked
И
to nearby village where we go now.
поверьте, здесь кругом вот в декабре приезжает народ. У нас даже места нет, чтобы здесь.
I will show you pictures. Many people come here in December. There is no empty space.
От малого до великого приезжает сюда.
From very, very young age to very old people come here.
И каждый год ждут это мероприятие.
And they are waiting for this event every year.
И самое главное, мы как организаторы, те люди, которые занимаются патриотикой, чтят память, мы ставим такую задачу перед собой, чтобы это не забыть, помнить, подрастающее поколение передавать, и чтобы наш подвиг, трудовой подвиг и вообще слово «война» — это очень страшно.
The word war itself, it's very dangerous.
Пойдемте поднимемся. Я хочу показать вам то настоящее место.
For almost every time we spoke to anyone who had to recount the story of surviving the Second World War, it was always a sober moment of tears and reflections.
Sorry. And he promised to himself that he will do his best to commemorate his grandparents.
One of the strongest moments was when we got into the small wooden house that served as a refuge for survivors. From the little cabin here, they could hide, see the approaching enemies, and it was a nostalgic feeling stepping on these grounds, handling some relics, and of course, taking the story.
This is a descendant of one of them. His grandparents actually participated in this heroic sacrifice that ever happened. This place where we are, it's such a nostalgic moment for me because this is a relic of what has remained. To my right here, you can see a jacket, an old jacket. This was really in a cold season that they had to, dig up all of these things. And this window, as he explained here, was for them to look and see whenever the enemy was coming, so they positioned their guns here. You can see an old box there. I don't know what is in it, but of course to my left here you can see a pair of shoes, not the regular shoes. Of course this cup here was used by these people to eat some food, make some tea, and this is where they had to hide. Come along with us. My emotions have remained the same, which is, for me, it's a bit of nostalgia and empathy. And coming here, seeing these old relics and their shoes and their clothes tells a lot about the sort of sacrifice that was made. So it's one remarkable day for me, and it would stay for a lifetime.
Okay, most importantly for me, my emotion is beginning to spike up, you know, because apart from the sacrifices of these grandparents, I'm also grateful to the children who wants to keep the, the legacy, so that they can respect and remember and show the world, because it's not just only for Russians. We come from Nigeria, and we are definitely taking this history, this rich, deep cultural history, of something that really, really happened. And we are also grateful that we are here on the place where the thing happened, and also grateful to the kids and the grandkids, and also the future generation that is coming.
2 words encapsulates this entire story, and that is patriotism and love for one's motherland. This is a story of love, of courage, of hope, of resilience, of tactics, of strategies, and keeping the legacies alive. You've certainly got to love Russia and just how they're able to preserve their legacies and history for years and years unending. To the men and women whose sacrifices we felt in Surskiy, to the surreal moments shared, you are never to be forgotten. Your names are etched in history, and your story is told around the world. Thank you for watching this historic episode. I am Amazing Grace.